and gentlemen, Jesup High School, welcome to tonight's wrestling meet. A special welcome is extended to our guests from Wapsie and Bosco. Jesup High School proudly supports and practices good sportsmanship by supporting your team, respecting the abilities of the opposition, and the decisions of the officials. You can create an environment that is reflective of the community. Be a class act, be a good sport, be a winner in the game of sportsmanship. Please welcome tonight's officials, Ron Doherty and Tim McGowan. And now, the starting lineups for Don Bosco at 106, Jaden Moore, Wapsie Valley, Dawson Schmidt, and the JHawks, Brady Wilson. At 113 for Bosco, Caleb Kaufman. For Wapsie Valley, Isaiah Price. For Jesup, Carter Littlefield. At 120 for Bosco, Derek Funk. Wapsie Valley, Gavin Liskow. And Jesup, Kyle Wilson. At 126 for Bosco, Michael Kellen. Wapsie is open. For Jesup, Ethan Apperin. At 132 for Bosco, Cody Brown. For Wapsie Valley, Cameron Yeager. For Jesup, Jared Soliski. At 138 for the Bosco, Easton Larson or Fox Youngblood. For Wapsie Valley, Brady Benning. For Jesup, Jared Delgardelle. At 145 for Bosco, Dylan Welter. For Wapsie, Kylan Hirsch. For Jesup, Chris Vandenberg. At 152 for Bosco, K.O. Ron Lavardi. Wapsie Valley is open. For Jesup, Isaac Kruger. At 160 for Bosco, Kate Kennel. For Wapsie Valley, Brock Biesecker. For Jesup, Keaton Roscovius. At 170 for Bosco, Charlie Hogan. For Wapsie Valley, Hunter Ackerman. For Jesup, Bryce Blighter. At 182 for Bosco, Thomas Even or Fisher Orr. For Wapsie Valley, Isaiah Morris. Jesup is open. At 195 for Don Bosco, Cedric Yoder. For Wapsie Valley, Keegan Brown. Jesup is open. At 220 for Bosco, Jared Tyree. Wapsie Valley is open and Jesup is open. At 195 for for Don Bosco, Cedric Yoder. For Wapsie Valley, Keegan Brown. Jesup is open. I did that one already. At 285, Nick Weber or Matt Ortner for Don Bosco. Wapsie Valley is open and Jesup is open. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as we honor our nation and flag while paying respect to our men and women in uniform around the world who protect our liberties and way of life with the playing of our national anthem. We will have a JV match. The first duel tonight will be Wapsie Valley versus Jesup. Second duel will be Wapsie Valley versus Don Bosco, and the third duel will be Don Bosco versus Jesup. We have a JV match. Wapsie Valley's Case Hagenow against Steele Rollison. We'll be starting at 113 pounds. 113 pounders, please report. For Wapsie Valley, number 113 is Isaiah Price. For Jesup, Carter Littlefield. 120 pounders, please report. .126 pounders, please report. We had a double forfeit. Wapsie, 126 pounder. Rink receives a forfeit, 132 pounders. For Wapsie Valley, Cannon Yeager. For Jesup, Jared Solitsky. For Wapsie Valley, Brady Benning. For Jesup, Jared Gallagher. Valley receives a forfeit. At 152 pounds for Wapsie Valley, Sam Banger. For Jesup, Isaac Karuger. At 160 pounds, Carter Studebaker receives a forfeit. For Wapsie Valley at 170, Hunter Ackerman. For Jesup, Keaton Roscovian.
This is the JHawks Sports Network from Heartland Technology. Nate Clayberg and Luke Baldwin and Anthony Baugh all up in the Hawks Nest tonight as we are set for our winter coverage. Anthony had wrestling on live on Tuesday, and we decided it worked out. Yeah, Luke is on. Are you on?
Yeah, I'm on. Am I here?
You're always on.
Okay,
You're always on. So
just wanted to make sure that the knob was where it was supposed to be on the board there.
So coming a little late, I had to go to a junior high basketball game.
How'd they do?
I had to go to a junior high basketball game.
No,
it's the first game.
Fair enough.
First game. It's a work in progress.
That first one went over my head. I got you now.
It's the first basketball game, so Coach Sabers, keep working. Anyway, big night of wrestling here in the South Gym as we've already been underway, and you've seen the action with Jesup and Wapsie Valley. Following this meet, you'll have Wapsie Valley and Don Bosco go to the Orange Circle, and then Jesup will be back out to face off against perennial power Don Bosco coming over from Gilbertville to have wrestling here. So we'll have fans, huge fan base for all three teams here right now. And Luke coming in, we've got a new head coach for the squad as well, with Matt Gross coming in, and seems to be having an impact already.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't know Matt very well. He's one of our new teachers here at school as well, but sounds like he's doing a real nice job. I talked to our athletic director, Joe Schmeins, briefly earlier before you arrived, and he said he's doing a nice job. He's got that teacher mentality, good with the kids. He's always, not just coaching, he's teaching. Right. Not just the sport, but probably life lessons in general. So that's always good to see. To your point, so far we've got five pins tonight. So won 5 matches so far, all by pin, and then 2 losses. And then we did start the meet with a loss. Which was JV Steele Rollison.
So we just finished watching Wapsie Valley's Isaiah Morris pinning Bryce Glider in just about a minute and a half. And you're going to come up.
Brown receives a forfeit.
You'll see Brown with a forfeit here for Wapsie Valley. And just kind of going back through here, as you look at the scoring, Carter Littlefield beating Isaiah Price at 1:13, fall of 42 seconds. Wide open at 1:20. Ethan Elfering winning at 1:26. Cannon Jaeger over Jarrett Selesky of Jesup, fall of 2:10. Brady Brenning getting pinned by Jarrett Delagardelle in 3:57 at 1:38. At 1:45, Tylen Hirsch of Wapsie Valley, he gets the win. With a forfeit there, gets 6 points on the board. Isaiah Kruger over Sam Banger, fall of 104. Carter Studebaker gets some points as there's an open class there for Wapsie Valley. Hunter Ackerman beating Keaton Roscovius, I think at 170. And just going back through, making sure my records are up to date here.
I think you got them all there. It's been a pretty quick meet so far. It's also good to see Jesup's numbers are up a little bit this year, Nate. It seems like the past several years we've struggled to even fill half a team, and I think we've got 4 open spots tonight. But I think you got to look at that as a success for the program at this point.
Well, yeah, most definitely. And honestly, I don't think we did. We had matches on, or we had the meet on last year in JSN. But yeah, you're right. Our numbers have been down, and
285
Scott Truick did a good job as a former head coach, and it's just the way of sports have been nowadays, and some sports go up and some sports go down as far as people involved with them, and they're coming back out for wrestling with the group you see down there.
Well, and one of the changes we made here at Jesup this year is we opened up our middle school with a split season, so giving kids the opportunity that, maybe they don't know yet, do I want to wrestle, do I want to play basketball? So we're given the opportunity to play both. And, I think we had nearly 20 kids out for wrestling in middle school, so, 17, 20, somewhere in that ballpark. So that was encouraging, and hopefully, the goal is to have strong basketball program, strong wrestling program, and hopefully, opening things up in middle school will result in that.
Yeah, you get a chance to, try a sport maybe you hadn't tried, or maybe when you were younger and felt like you had to make a choice.
Yeah.
So again, going back, Roscovius over Ackerman of Wapsie Valley, follow 118. Isaiah Morris of Wapsie Valley pins Bryce Glider, follow 129. Keegan Brown gets the forfeit win, gets 6 points for his squad. And now we are up at 106 pounds. And Brady Wilson out there against Dawson Schmidt, as you see on the screen. And Schmidt trying to rock up Brady Wilson in that cradle. Wilson, again, face down, trying to get on all fours, trying to pivot around that middle circle. And Wapsie Valley, all black singlets with the yellow trim. Cross arm across that chest. And you see Schmidt again trying to drive forward. And Wilson prevented it. Trying to get to his stomach, and there's Schmidt again. Trying to drive forward. That right shoulder down. And really trying to bar that far side arm up. And now he's got his head. We see some near fall points counted here by our official. He's waiting to see. Doesn't see that back blade down just yet. There's one count. There's a second. We're going to see at least 3 back points here. 15 seconds to go on that clock in this first period. Wapsie trailing 36-30 to Jesup as a team. And can Wilson fight out the last few seconds and start the second period? And the official is going to hold off.
Saved by the bell.
3 points will go up. Back points go up for Dawson Schmidt.
Well, I tell you what. Well, actually, for everybody out there and listening on the other side tonight, that's a good example of why I waited for you before I came on to air, because it would have been a really boring conversation, me talking to myself, not knowing a whole heck of a lot about wrestling. But
it would have been entertaining, and the wrestling community would have been all over you.
But so I'm glad you're up here, and I'm guessing the folks at home are glad you're up here too.
Quick turnaround. You see that 2-point reversal quickly to Dawson Schmidt as he goes up 7-0. Wilson again, all fours. And you look at, towards the end of that, Luke, towards that end of that first period, you're fighting for your life that last, 30, 40 seconds, and that really drives the life out of you, Brady Wilson.
I got to believe it does. I've never wrestled myself, but I know it's just a brutal sport. I mean, it's just mano y mano, and whether you're on the giving or receiving end, I mean, you're putting everything you got into it, and especially if you're on the bottom trying not to get pinned, I mean, you're right. That's got to take it out of you.
Again, Wilson. Wilson just looking for some air.
Doing all he can to keep those shoulder blades off the mat.
7-point advantage, 48 seconds. And you see that count, that right shoulder, and then near side's in. He's crossing that arm across the chest, and there's Wilson trying to rock through. Pulling forward those hips. Get those hips forward. He will not quite belly down. And there's Schmidt pulling that leg up tighter. Rocking him back. Official trying to get a good look, and there it is. 10 and 3 minutes. And 47.3 seconds, or 47.7 seconds. Dawson Schmidt with the advantage there.
So that'll do it for the JHawks and the Warriors. That seemed like a quick meet, or portion of the meet, I guess.
So what we'll do here, let me run through, I guess, first off, how the scoring is if you're just joining us and wondering how things went. And if you're a wrestling follower, you already know this, but you go to trackwrestling.com, and I'll put a link in our Facebook post here for you to go ahead and pull up the stats from this last meet between Wapsie Valley and Jesup.
On criteria, Wapsie Valley wins the meet, 37.
So 37-36 or 41-36 again the final.
That was a close one. I thought maybe we would get that. I was just informed, and you probably already knew this, Nate, but if anybody at home doesn't, when there's a tie, it goes to the most pins. And so Wapsie Valley won that battle and comes out with the 41-36 victory. Or it looks, now they've changed it to 37-36. So.
Okay. See, that's the insight that you get now, Luke.
Right.
You know.
That's what I bring to the table, Nate. Little nuggets like that.
You have ways to find information and add that in there. That's a lot of appreciation.
I still think, this would have maybe been a good night for me to be out with the roaming reporter. Just walk around with a mic and chat people up.
Kind of get a feeling of how they're, how things are going. And,
yeah. Well, I know a fair amount of Wapsie and Wapsie Valley people, and certainly Don Bosco people. I'm sure I could get myself into some good conversations.
Or trouble, one way or another. I did just get a text from the Jesup football coach, and he wants to know.
Tim Sauer?
Yeah, Timmy. Who wins in a wrestling match, Baldwin or Clayburg?
Oh, that's easy. Baldwin.
Because you're fighting dirty.
I got a long reach, and
yeah.
I got old man strength, man.
Well, I'm double jointed, so there might be an
that's true.
Might be a even out there. Anyway, Nate Clayburg and that's Luke Baldwin as we're in the Hawk Nest tonight. JHawks Sports Network with triangular, if you will, double duel, triangular, triple duel. I don't know. Here's how the scoring went from the beginning to the end, not necessarily in weight order. We started at 113 pounds. Carter Littlefield of Jesup over Isaiah Price of Wapsie, followed 42 seconds. No one at 120 on either squad. Ethan Alfarink wins by default at 126. Kenan Yeager of Wapsie by fall 210 over Jared Selesky. He has 6 points there at 132. Jared Delagardelle, he has a fall. 357 right before the end of that second period over Brady Benning for the Warriors. Tylen Hirsch of Wapsie, he gets 6 points with a forfeit win. Isaac Kruger over Sam Banger. 104 is how long that took for the pin at 152. Then at 160, Carter Studebaker, he has default win with a wide open slot there for Wapsie. 170, Roscovius over Hunter Ackerman, fall of 118. Isaiah Morse over Bryce Glider, pin of 129. Keegan Brown at 195, Caden Brady at 220, both receiving 6 points, and that really caught Wapsie Valley up in the scoring. And then wide open both sides at 285, and then Dawson Schmidt and Brady Wilson. It came right down to that one, and Dawson Schmidt over Brady Wilson followed 336, and it was tied up at 36-36 after all of those matches. And Luke, there's a tiebreaker again. You can talk again through that.
Yeah, so the tiebreaker comes down to most pins. And it had to be close, but Wapsie did edge us out there with more pins, and so the final score was 36-37. So I don't know if that means they got one more pin than we did. I don't know if maybe you can see that there. I was trying to track
most individual match wins was it must, least team penalty points must be the first criteria.
Okay.
Then it goes to individual penalty points, and then you go down to most individual match wins, and they were tied both at 6. And then you go to most wins, defaults, forfeits, DQ'd, and they were both at 6. And then you get most wins by forfeit.
Okay.
So then Jesup had the advantage 3-2 at that point. So most pins, defaults, forfeits, DQs, I guess as a team, but wins by forfeit.
So there's a lot in there. There's a lot going on. Well, a good match nonetheless, a close one.
So we will have the camera on, and Wapsie Valley and Don Bosco, they will be in the orange circle here in just a few moments. This is the JHawks Sports Network from Heartland Technology.
Wapsie. Garrett Funk from Mount Bosco receives a forfeit. Bosco at 132, Cody Brown. For Wapsie Valley, Cannon Yeager. At 138 for Don Bosco, Easton Larson. For Wapsie Valley, Brady Benning. At 145 for Don Bosco, Fox Youngblood. For Wapsie Valley, Kylan Hirsch. At 152 pounds, for down Bosco, Kale Lombardi. For Wapsie Valley, Sam Banger. Wapsie 160. Go ahead. Kate Kennel receives the forfeit. At 170, Charlie Hogan for down Bosco. Hunter Ackerman for Wapsie Valley. At 182 pounds, for down Bosco, Fisher Orr. For Wapsie Valley, Isaiah Moore. Keegan Brown. At 220 pounds, for Don Bosco, Cedric Yoder receives the forfeit. At 285 pounds, Nick Weber for Don Bosco receives the forfeit. At 106 pounds for Don Bosco, Jaden Moore. For Wapsie Valley, Dawson Schmidt. 113 pounds. For Don Bosco, Caleb Coffin. For Wapsie Valley, Isaiah Bryce. Bosco 69, Wapsie Valley 3. the mat, please. Clear the mat. Captain, you want to meet at the middle of the mat?
This is the JHawks Sports Network from Heartland Technology. We are set to go for the third dual meet of the night, and it's been all Don Bosco across the board early on. Jesup getting a chance against Wapsie Valley of Fairbank in the final there, 37-36. That actually came down to a tiebreaker with the number of defaults, I believe. It was 36-36 through all matches. A lot of pins in that meet, 6 for each squad. Actually, excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, 6 overall for that. But Jesup losing that first round, that first one tonight, and then one that just took place. You saw it down there, 69-3. Came all the way to the last one as Isaiah Price of Wapsie Valley was over Caleb Coffin by a margin of 10-4, and that was the only match that went 3 periods. So I'm Nate Kleberg. This is Luke Baldwin beside me, Anthony Baugh on camera and running graphics, and
a little bit of everything.
He's working on over there as we are underway here in Jesup with Don Bosco and the JHawks.
I believe, is this the 106 match? Oh, I'm sorry, this is JV.
We're doing JV right now.
This is Brady, no, let's see, Steele Ralston. Carter Studebaker and Dylan Welter, it sounds like.
So you guess,
there, we got them right on the screen. What am I? Here, I'm looking at my sheet trying to figure out who's who.
Well, it's more interesting to listen to you to try to do it. But here's me as well not really knowing either, so I'll accept that. I'll accept that. New coach for Jesup this year, Matt Gross, assisted by Aaron Schutte and Alex Warm. Managers Jaron Lloyd, Ryan Della Kaylee McMurrin. And there's the pin.
Early pin for Don Bosco, 52 seconds in.
Welter over Studebaker, a little over a minute.
Again, that was a JV match.
Luke Corkery versus Jacob Siri.
So Luke Corkery will come out, another JV matchup at 152.
So how do these, do you know, Nate, how do these work? Why do we had one JV match before the first duel between Jesup and Wapsie, and now looks like we've got a couple of them here. Do you know why?
I'm anxiously awaiting your question.
Why that is? Why is there, I assume there are actual full JV meets sometimes?
Well, if you've got enough roster, you know, I'm sure Don Bosco can fill a JV team if they had to.
So we only have probably a couple of
JV I think we
kids.
only have a handful that can that fit in there. When you look at our roster of Wilson and Rollison, 2 at 106. You've got Selesky and Jesus Vegas Seco 132. Isaac Kruger Carter Studebaker at 152, along with Luke Corkery at 152. So you stack them up, you try and find, as anything, you're going to try and find some opportunities. And if you got another team that's got, that weight class, you might as well put them out there.
Right. People probably think I'm asking you these questions like I know the answer. I'm just trying to set you up for some good talk time.
Well, we all know that you are not the wrestling expert in your house. Period.
We didn't have a wrestling expert in my house.
Well, you have one that thinks she's a wrestling expert.
But I tell you what, I appreciate the heck out of this sport. We were talking during the Bosco Wapsie match there. It's probably one of the purest sports out there.
Right. Right.
Like you said, there's really no, you can't get better technology to make you what do I know? Maybe there is something out there. But at
you get the latest headgear and the latest wrestling shoes.
It seems like at the end of the day, it's really about two guys just getting after it, and the best man's going to win, or the best woman, whatever the makeup of the match is.
And that's something that has really taken off is girls wrestling. And some of the big schools are even fielding, their own girls teams as an alternative to, basketball or anything else that's happening in the winter. And it's kind of really taken off from what I understand.
I mean, personally, I hope it continues to grow. I think that's a sport that a lot of girls could embrace.
All right, we're going to start up here at 126 as we have Steele Rollison. We're still on JV. Steele Rollison for Jesup out there, along with Dawson Youngblood. Thanks to Anthony for keeping us in line.
Yeah, Anthony actually is a wrestling guy, although you've called a fair amount of wrestling meets in your time, and you've called a few UNI meets, haven't you?
I have not.
Oh, okay.
A lot of high school.
Just trying to give you some street cred.
Yeah, I don't have any of that. I think I have told the story of I did wrestle one match in my entire life.
Yeah?
It was at Iowa State in intramurals. I thought, you know what? I've been calling wrestling. I should experience it firsthand. So, I felt like I trained sufficiently, or not. Went out, first match. I got through 2 periods.
Nice.
And then the final minute of that third period, done. And then went up and found a garbage can. And
that's when you realized you were not in good enough shape.
Yeah, I was not in good enough shape. So, but it gave me a very good appreciation for what these guys go through on the mat. The work that they do off the mat for what could be 10 seconds or could be a total of 6 minutes out there.
I mean, it's the conditioning is. I don't know if there's a sport out there that requires more conditioning than wrestling.
So we are starting up here. First match, varsity 126. Michael McClellan, Don Bosco against Ethan Alvarink of Jesup. McClellan coming out of Gilbertville. And he was a 6th place finisher last year at 126 in the Class 1A state tournament. Champion in 1A District 3. His section only won that. Hudson Wrestling Invite last year. Took top spot. The Keith Bry Invitational 126. He took 2nd place. Looks like last year he went from 126 to 132. Was down to 132 in the state duel, actually, when Bosco was wrestling the state duel. He went up to 132 to wrestle. And then 6th place finish at 126. Had some success through the summertime. And we'll see how he gets through his 2019-20 season. Bar's arm across Ethan Alfarink's face and neck. Rolling that shoulder in. And he's got him pivoted. Count on the near fall points. 60 seconds into this first period. There's 2. Make it a 6-1 advantage. Very first match. 126 pounds. Jesup and Gilbertville Don Bosco. And there's the release point. Face off. Hand double collar tie up. Working in that blue circle. For that back leg. Gets him down straight to his back blades. There's the count from the official. Tighten up those shoulders a little bit more. Driving Trying to drive that shoulder, but you're going to see Alfarink come back belly down. 2 near fall points. And I wouldn't be surprised if he releases him. There he goes. Give him
10-2.
Big skate point in there. 10-3. 13 points total in these match. And again, back down, and that is it. 1 minute and 14 point. Oh, let's go 54. I got to do my math. Let's say almost 2 minutes. We'll go something like that.
That sounds good. Sounds good to me.
On the fall, Michael
Be
McClellan
153
over Ethan Alfarink. Go on down, 132 pounds. Cody Brown, Don Bosco, Jarrett Selesky of Jesup. Last time out. Cody Brown defeated Cannon Yorger out of Wapsie Valley by a fall in 17 seconds.
That was.
And Selesky got stuck as well. Another pin.
I don't know quickness from personal experience, Nate, but that was pretty quick.
12 seconds, he's done.
He came out of there like lightning.
12-0 advantage team-wise for Gilbertville Don Bosco. I always have to say that because when I used to go down the state tournament calling these, there was always the guy. I don't know if you've ever been to the state wrestling meet.
I haven't.
Maybe we need a road trip this year.
My wife was there for like 23 years straight or something until we got married.
Well, and
I took that away from her. No, I'm just kidding.
Didn't get that in the prenup.
I tell her every year she should go.
But the announcer for the state high school, they always say, Gilbertville Don Bosco, Matt won. So I always feel like I got to say that. Jared Delagardelle of Jesup, Easton Larson, Don Bosco on the mat right now.
Jared's a nice wrestler. I made it up here last night from or I guess that was 2 nights ago, from a middle school game that I went over to at the BMAP and got back just in time to watch Jarrett wrestle. And he's a good-looking wrestler.
He's got experience, has been doing it quite a while. Jared Delagardelle beat Brady Benning of Wapsie Valley in a fall of 3:57 in the very first dual meet tonight. Still scoreless, 138 pounds. Third match of the night, and he gets caught on his back. And that's it. 58 seconds. Wrestling can be such a quick sport. You let up your guard for half a second, and you can find yourself on your back. Moved to 145 pounds after Delagardelle losing by a fall to Easton Larson in 59 seconds, making the team advantage 18-0 with Don Bosco.
At 145,
Fox Youngblood of Don Bosco will go out and raise his hand. He's got 6 points for his squad.
Bosco always bringing a couple busloads of people over wherever they travel, really.
Yeah, it's a heck of a following, and Wapsie Valley was here too, and they've left, but they only had a section and a half.
And Bosco, they do travel. They go out, they wrestle all over the place. I was talking to Scott Becker, one of the old men from Gilbertville, and he was setting up a couple of wrestling tournaments out of state that they'll be heading over to in the next month or so. Of course, I can't remember what those tournaments are called, but
you had some good insight, though. I enjoyed that. So you have on the mat right now Kruger and Cale Renovardi. And Renovardi finishing 4th place at 170 in the state meet last year. Wrestled at 160 in the state duels. Was champion in the district, champion in his sectional. Kruger rocked up on his back. You're going to see points, but you're probably going to see that fall as Isaac Kruger drained his tank real quick. 51 seconds on that for Narvi. We'll go to 160 pounds here. This is the JHawks Sports Network from Heartland Technology. Appreciate everybody joining us. Whether you're following the Dons or the Warriors or the JHawks or just a fan of high school wrestling or wrestling period. People watching from all across the country tonight. I'm Nate Klaber, Gus Luke Baldwin, Anthony Baugh, keeping us going up here in the Hawks Nest tonight. Keaton Roscovius for Jesup. Still trying to hang on. Have not seen the takedown points yet with Cade Tenold of Don Bosco. And there they are. He will go face down. Keaton Roscovius. One of the 4 seniors on this roster for new head coach Matt Gross. And it's such an interesting sport, Luke. When you look at school Jesup's size, as you see 2 back points go there. A couple of years ago, Jesup was a heavier team. So we were giving up, some open weights in the lighter weights.
Yeah.
And now it's moved itself around a little bit more.
Yep.
So in a school like this, you don't know quite how do you fill that pipeline?
Yeah, I got to believe it's like any other program. You start from the ground up, and I know we've got the Iron Hawks program that is generally pretty strong, and in fact, I think we've got our former wrestling coach Scott Truitt, who's spending more time at that level now that he's got a boy of his own at that age. So I think that'll be a good thing for the youth program as well, right, to have that knowledge at that level.
Go out of bounds, bring it back to the center, start him again, 28.5 seconds. Keaton Roscovius trailing. Cade Tenold of Don Bosco. Jesup in the orange singlets. Got the Hawk logo on that back. Shooting in. Cade Tenold trying to tighten up on that right leg of Roscovius. But Roscoe hanging on, and he's going to swirl out. But that cross arm is going to get out of the reach of Cade Tenold. But you're going to see that reversal happen. 2 points, 6-1 into the first period, 160 pounds. Again, if you're just joining us, Jesup opened the night with Wapsie Valley. It's tied 36-36 through the entire matches, and then it came down to the tiebreaker, and Wapsie Valley had that advantage. 37-36, Wapsie Valley then faced Don Bosco, and they went down to the last match, but before we saw a full match, final 69-3, Wapsie Valley getting the final win with Isaiah Price over Caleb Coffin in a 10-4 decision. And now we've seen 4 falls through 5 matches. Advantage Don Bosco. Coming up on 1 minute. Tomorrow night on the JHawks Sports Network, we'll have live video for you. Wapsie Valley of Fairbank coming down here for a girl-boy doubleheader. Fortunate or unfortunately, Luke and I will not be here.
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed about that.
Yeah.
We'll both be attending our spouses' holiday parties. I'm in Des Moines. Where are you at?
We'll be in Waterloo.
Waterloo, yeah. But Wapsie Valley, Jesup, always a good game, girls and boys, and one that I don't like to miss. So.
Yeah, it's always always a good competition.
Yeah.
I had come up on my Facebook history the other day, the 5 overtime game against Union we had a couple of years ago.
That was a marathon.
And JHawks pulled that one out of that.
So Keaton Roscovius, he's hanging in here. Bosco with the 9-1 lead on the scoreboard, but Keaton not going down easy.
And we're going to see, for the first time, the second period in this meet.
Third period.
Actually, yes, third period. Second and third period. First fall was under 2 minutes, then it went 11 seconds, went 59 seconds, went 51 seconds, and now Kate Tenold and Keaton Roscovius. Keaton keeps fighting. He's not going to go down.
Got a little blood on the mat, or blood on the face, I should say. As our trainer steps out to take care of that.
And nice to see Laney Baugh out there helping as well on the trainer's side. Start the third period.
Our trainer, Manila, and I should know her last name, Nate, but I don't. But she comes to us from the local chiropractor, Summit Chiropractic, with offices in Jesup and Waterloo. She's been with us for this is her first year, and I know she's doing a great job. I know the
helped
staff,
out with football and
staff and kids really like her. Here's a little known fact, and hopefully somebody wasn't feeding me a line here, but I understand she's a black belt in some martial art, whether it's karate or something.
I think you should go provoke her and see if that's actually true.
Yeah, right. Especially at a wrestling meet. I mean, I'd already lose every battle in here, and that would be just one more.
Don Bosco and Jesup on the mat, and this one very well will go the full length with Keaton Roscovius, unless he's managing to get a couple more points and get that technical fall, which very well could happen in the last 40 seconds. That'll put 15 up there, and a 15-point advantage, and that's it. You got that 15-point margin. There's your technical fall. 18-3, so didn't go all the way.
So that brings the score to 30-0. Jesup, or I apologize, Don Bosco over Jesup.
8 more matches to go.
At 170 pounds for Don Bosco, Charlie Hogan. For Jesup,
And if I am not mistaken, Bosco's wrestler was a state champion last year. Charlie Hogan and Bryce Glider.
Coach's son, I assume. Did I make that assumption? Do we know?
Possibly. I'm sure somebody can prove this for us. Yes. Actually, sorry, not a champion last year. Did wrestle 160 in the state duel. At least the records I have, which are extensive.
We lost him off the bottom of the screen there.
And there's Hogan. Gets Glider down, all fours. It's 4-0.
Yeah, Hogan, he's just a big, strong kid.
And Glider really holding his own with that base, eyeing that black mat, trying to pull himself off of there and get this reset. 67 seconds to go, first period. And they will go off and bring him back to the middle. Glider takes the down position. There's a whistle. Quickly, Glider tried to roll through. Held himself a little bit where he didn't get held up on his shoulders. But Hogan again really trying to strong arm up top, and he's going to finally work backside, trying to cross arm, get under that shoulder. And you really are working your hips, you're working your legs, trying to find any sort of fulcrum point to get that pivot going. Ryder's going to flatten down a little bit more. 18 seconds to go. Again, Don Bosco with a team advantage. You see it on the screen, 35-0 here at 170 pounds. Charlie Hogan and Bryce Glider will go to the second period. But you can look right down there, Luke, and you can see Glider. He's been fighting. He's been burning some energy, and Hogan's still got a pretty
Fired
full
up.
tank. Ooh, Glider, nice spin around, keeps face. And there's Hogan. Takes the head, brings him right down. But Glider trying to get his feet underneath him and try and pivot himself out. But again, there goes Hogan. Going to keep rounding him. Minute 30, second period. You got some near fall points. If you had the takedown, you're going to get a pin now. 1 minute and 40 seconds. Actually, 2 minutes, 40 seconds on that fall. Charlie Hogan defeating Bryce Glider. 170 pounds.
At 182, Thomas Eman and Don Bosco receive the forfeit.
So Thomas Even will come out.
Saw Thomas even in the match with Wapsie, and that was a short match.
Yeah, very quick. You got two back-to-back forfeits here at this at the higher weights. At 182, 195, you're going to see another one here at 220. Even beat Keegan Brown of Wapsie by a fall of 25 seconds, and then Cedric Yoder. He didn't wrestle at all again either tonight. 285, the heavyweight. Nick Weber. He's not wrestling all tonight either. The Wapsie didn't have a wrestler for him either. And you're up to 59.
So 4 forfeits in a row.
And then we get the lighter weights. It's interesting when they do this, and this has only been happening, hasn't happened a long time, but they would now draw where they're going to start based on the weight.
Right.
Back when we were in school, they would start at that lighter weight and work to the top. It's kind of interesting when you see the big guys come out and then all of a sudden the little guy shows up.
Well, I think this is a much healthier way to go. I think that was one of the reasons they changed that up, wasn't it?
I think it gives it a little chance to mix it up a little bit. So you had even at 182, Cedric Yoder at 195, Jared Thury of Bosco at 220, Don Bosco's Mac Ortner at 285, all forfeit, giving us a 65-0 score right now. Jaden Moore against Brady Wilson. So Jaden Moore, sophomore for the Dons. Wilson is a senior. And then earlier today, when you look at Don Bosco's Jaden Moore, defeated Dawson Schmidt by a 9-5 decision. And then in Jesup's contest with the Warriors, Dawson Schmidt of Wapsie beats Brady Wilson by a fall in 336 at 106. Wilson down on those elbows. Down 4-0 right now.
Moore just continuing to move around there, seeing what what works, what doesn't.
We're going to rock him up. Going to get some near ball points, but you see Moore. He's trying to slide out a little bit, trying to get those shoulder blades down. He will have 3 near fall points, making it a 7-0 at the end of this first period. Again, Moore, one of the only Dons that had to wrestle a full match. They had the wrong bands on their legs.
I was trying to figure out what was going on there. I'm like,
so the official's going to come over and I think make sure scoring's in order.
It's like I was pretty sure we only went through 1 period there.
A little official match here of one came to the side and he's like, well, I'll go out there and officiate that. Came back, so what are you doing? It's my match. 65-0 Don Bosco over Jesup. 7-0 right now. Brady Wilson trailing Jaden Moore of Don Bosco. Wilson from Jesup. He's trying to slip off and get Moore down on his back.
Try to bring a little offense of his own here.
Moore looking for an out, and he finds it. 2-point reversal, 9-0. Is it an errant whistle?
I believe so. Yeah. I think that's what well.
2 near fall points, and I don't know if he blew his whistle accidentally when he was getting
I believe
up.
the whistle was, like you said, an errant. Yeah. Didn't
I think we've all done it where we, get off the ground. You got to exhale a little bit, you know?
Yeah. I think he was trying to explain there were some points in there, but the whistle was unintentional.
Yeah, official's got a little smirk on his face. He knew he was in the wrong there.
I've been reffing basketball games where I actually tripped over my own feet and barrel rolled across the floor. So,
God, I wish that was on video somewhere.
Errant whistle's pretty minor compared to what I've done in front of people.
There's a pin in 3 minutes, 55 seconds. And Brady Wilson losing to Jaden Moore tonight, 65-0. Actually, should be more than that, I think. They're doing their math right.
Yeah, you're right, because that was 11-0.
You're talking
71.
So Caleb Coffin, Don Bosco against Carter Littlefield of Jesup. Caleb Coffin, a Jesup resident, goes over to Don Bosco for school, 113. There's a release, and Coffin
injured.
Has a little injury to his right wrist. Coach will come out. Trainer will come over, and looks like he got a little bit of a sprain in there.
I don't know. He grabbed that pretty quickly. Hopefully it's not broken. I think that's going to be the end of that match.
So they will be
never like to see that. Hopefully, like you said, Nate, it's just a sprain, a little muscle pull.
Injury to Fald in there, and we will have Jesup actually get some points in that last one with an injury to Fald, and that is going to be it, as there was a forfeit at 120 pounds as well. Update our stats here, and we'll give you a recap as Jesup loses for the second time tonight. Lost 37-36 to Wapsie Valley. It came down at a tiebreaker team-wise. And then tonight, Don Bosco, 77-6 is the advantage as Carter Littlefield of Jesup, the only one to get points for the JHawks tonight, wins injury default, it appears, at 113. And then Garrett Funk comes out, raises his hand, 120 points. So a recap from the top. 126 was the opening weight. Michael McClellan over Jesup's Ethan Alfering, 152 fall. Fall 11 seconds at 132. Cody Brown beats Jarrett Selesky of Jesup. 138 Easton Larson for the Dons over Jared Delgardelle. Fall of 59 seconds. Fox Youngblood, 145, wins by default. Cale Rodarvi over Isaac Kruger in a fall of 51 seconds at 152. 160 Cade Tennell to Don Bosco over Keaton Roscovius. Technical fall 18-3 was the final points in 5 minutes 30 seconds. Bryce Glider of Jesup at 170, losing by fall 239 to Charlie Hogan. Thomas Even at 182. Cedric Yoder 195. Jared Thury at 220. Mac Ortner at 285. All win by default. Jesup with no wrestlers in those weights. The final 3 weights were all light. Jaden Moore over Brady Wilson, fall of 253. Caleb Coffin again losing to Carter Littlefield by injury of fault. And Garrett Funk wins at 120 by default with no wrestler there for the JHawks. So a lot of falls tonight, a lot of pins on the mat.
Yeah, there was.
For all around.
Yep, there definitely was. There was some. I think for our guys, the good guys, there was some bright spots, and there were certainly plenty of spots opportunities for improvement. And so I'm sure that Coach Gross will get them back in the gym, working on those things they need to get better at, and always hoping for a better outing next time. But all in all, it was kind of fun to be up here, and hopefully we didn't offend anybody too badly out there with our lack of knowledge. But we want to bring people. We'd like to bring the people all the sports, but we get up here when we can, and hopefully you guys out there enjoyed watching your home team.
So Jesup, 2 losses tonight. Wapsie Valley splits, 1 win with Jesup, 1 loss to Bosco, and Don Bosco wins 2 in this triangular. Coming up tomorrow, girl-boy basketball doubleheader right here on the JHawks Sports Network. Wapsie Valley Warriors will come down the road, and we'll have live video, and you'll hear PA audio tomorrow night as Anthony has his sleeping bag, and he's been here all week. Camped out with Wrestling Tuesday and tonight, and also basketball on a Friday. And you probably want to come hang out at the wrestling tournament Saturday too, don't you, Anthony?
That guy's
between robotics and archery. Are you ever home?
That guy lost.
Okay. Youth wrestling happening in this gym on the 8th as well with a big Ironhawk tournament. You look into next week. High school Christmas concert or winter concert on Monday. And then Tuesday we'll have a high school girl-boy basketball doubleheader here on the JHawks Sports Network. I will join in late after I get back from the middle school basketball game in Denver.
Tuesday night?
Tuesday night.
All right. Well, I may try to go it alone for a while, Nate. I think basketball, I feel a little more confident that I can pull that one off alone.
You've got 3 or 4 years in.
Okay. Maybe I'll have a partner. Maybe
Do we need to clear this first, or are you just going to make it a surprise? Oh, we're going to have a surprise announcer coming up on Tuesday.
All right.
On Tuesday? Okay. All right. Well, it could be interesting, or it could be scary. I don't know.
It's a lot of, I'm not against talking to myself. It wouldn't be the first time I have conversation with myself. But
I get Jason Pilcher up here, but he's got to coach girls basketball now on the JV end. So
that's right. And I think he helps with boys varsity as well.
So that'll be coming up on Tuesday next week, and we'll also have high school girl-boy doubleheader on Friday of next week with Appleton Parkersburg. I feel like we're playing them earlier in the year, but they've got a booked December because it's Columbus Catholic on the 20th. So 3 Fridays in a row for high school games, and see how it all kind of plays out. Appreciate everybody joining us tonight on the JHawks Sports Network. For Luke Baldwin, Anthony Baugh, I'm Nate Kleberg. Everybody have a great rest of your night. If you want to catch this entire broadcast or recording, you can log on to our Facebook page and see all of our basketball, volleyball, wrestling, and volleyball events all on JHawks Sports Network. Everybody have a great rest of your night, and go JHawks.